they're dragging Paul Pierce right now.
Oh, he's bugging.
You don't think that men should go across seas and get their wife?
Come on, bro. What you talking about? Come on, bro. How do you want this conversation? Let me know how you want the clip to go.
I don't give a know.
Let me know how you want the clip to go, bro.
Fire. If you got to kill me to make the carcass work.
Paul Pierce is a joke, bro. And
Jesus
Christ. It's a sad sight to see, bro.
Why you say that for, bro?
Because I feel like I'm sound old. I miss when we didn't know shit about these. When they played basketball and retired and we didn't see them until they was on an analytics sport. So watching this destroy his legacy for the last 9 years because he just wants to sound dumb. It's crazy, bro. And now it was one thing when you want to sound dumb about sports. I can't argue about a who played a game.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
He was that guy.
We think that the top two is MJ and LeBron, right? That play ball will tell you Kobe.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not arguing with that play ball.
Okay.
He played ball.
Yeah, you can't.
He woke up every day, ran suicide. They played ball. They see it differently than I see it.
They played the season.
So when Paul Pierce says that he is better than D Wade,
maybe you are. Maybe
not
you
in
are.
2K.
Maybe you are.
In 2K, he wasn't. No, I'm being honest.
No, I understand.
In 2K, in my experience, he wasn't.
Dwayne had way more moves.
Ever wanted your jersey over? You know what I mean? Like, you got a Paul Pierce jersey, you was like, oh, you being different.
You a fan.
Yeah, like you being different.
You a basketball.
Like, he wasn't out with the Paul Pierce jersey. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he got stabbed or whatever and then came back to play and got lit. Like, that was fire to me.
Yeah.
It would have been cool if that's where it ended. But now you watch this just making a joke of himself. And it's dumb. And so when he said that, it just, first of all, it's lazy. He's not the first to said it. He didn't articulate it in a way that I would even want to hear him speak. That would even make me want to be like, oh, let's have this conversation. It just was lazy. It was dumb. And if we're talking about the actual point, bro, you're a weak ass, bro. You really a weak ass. Because let's talk about it. The passport bros, the that you prey on dumb, ill-equipped women to make you your wife, bro, you a weak ass.
Say this, right? Let me throw
and this come from they old women.
No, let me throw devil's advocate, right?
The devil never need no advocate, bro.
Yeah, of course.
He's the devil.
That's the same. No, he's good. He's good at this. But let me say this, right? No more. I don't. God bless the passport thing. I feel you on getting an American woman, especially.
No, it's not that. She don't have to be American. I don't want that to be the thing. You're praying. You're going. Oh, you didn't. Hold on. You didn't. I'm gonna shut up right after this. It's not because I just want to address that part.
Let's cook.
It's not like he's saying I'm gonna go to Italy. I'm gonna go to France. I'm gonna go to one of these established countries. You're going to a third world country to find a woman that can't tell you what's 2 + 2, and you're gonna bring her back here and treat her like shit for the rest of your life because it's your concubine. You want to treat her like a concubine because you never had no power nowhere else. So now you're gonna exert your power over this woman. I'm about to chop all that shit.
That's good. Go ahead.
I just want him to land.
No, I'm going to finish it just like this.
But the Jamaicans that rub the shit on the girl.
Yeah, for it. Get it all out.
Mouse, get it all out.
Get it all out. Put it in front of me.
Mouse, there's no way you're going to justify high-earning women going to Jamaica.
How do you know they was high-earning? Come to CPN.
No, that's high-earning. So
a CNA is a high-earning job?
Yes.
All right, man. All right, man.
And they let these dudes put a plastic bag on their pipe and smash. Ain't no different than a man going to a third world country and getting a chick that don't speak no English. That's the same equivalency of debauchery.
You done?
I'm finished.
You sure? Do you have anything to throw in there? Because you was trying to... You sure?
Yeah. Close it out.
All right, bet. So here goes the thing. That's all bull, right? It's all bull.
First and foremost, let him finish, huh? My bad, Mouse. Let's start it over again. He said it's all bullshit.
I'm good in the interrogation room. You're not gonna make me fold.
Okay.
So it's bullshit, right? So if you look at the numbers thing, there's not the number of women doing that is way less than the that are going over to poor, impoverished countries, snatching a woman away. And destroying the rest of her life. A woman going down
Why they destroying her life? Maybe they taking to a better life. But go ahead, finish your
How do
story.
you destroy a chick that has to
Has
wait 9
nothing.
hours for
But go
her
ahead.
electricity to
But
come on?
But go ahead, Mouse.
I
But
don't
go
know.
ahead,
You
Mouse.
could take away her rights. You can beat on her. You can tell her she has no sexual agency. You can treat her like literal. I think
Mouse-
she would go back to her
But
country.
why do we have to do it like
That's-
that? Maybe I just want to take a
Well,
good
that's not
woman
what they
and treat her good.
So why you couldn't do that here? Why you specifically
Because
went
these
over there?
bitches out here
same
want to
reason
be.
her back blown out by
These bitches-
Jamaicans.
These bitches.
She didn't go there for that. I don't think.
I don't think. Yo, but let him finish though. He
I never watched the movie.
Listen,
But he makes a good point,
listen,
though.
listen. I got a sister that went to Jamaica.
To get a
and she
back
with a Jamaican. Yeah.
That's okay. That's going to have sex. You going to have sex. She didn't say, I'm going to drag this back here.
Not yet.
No, wait, come out. I gave him clothes. She sent the money.
Yes,
I
women
gave
are
him
way.
my clothes.
See,
No.
women are way better than already.
I gave him my
They
clothes.
treat.
She called me for my clothes.
Yo,
and I'm
Enzo,
getting.
You wasn't using them.
Stop the.
Oh, you were finished? Oh, well, allow me to retort.
You know, I grew up on the south side of Chicago in the 80s, right? Right, I'm born and raised there in the south side of Chicago, but like I grew up in the south side and shit, okay? And I went to a high school that was popular for churning out NBA players. Well, a couple actually. And one that was awarded a Nike contract posthumously after he was shot dead on the streets. All right? Yeah, I did, I grew up there. My experience growing up non-select and everything extended beyond just the dating realm of the opposite sex. It extended to my peers. What would be my peers? What you would think would be my motherfucking peers. And, today, I'm sitting here thinking about it. Some of my experiences in my formative years. And I'm looking at this guy, Mouse Jones. I guess he's a comedian of some sort. I would hope he's a comedian, okay? And I think he's being very provocative in the way he talks and whatnot, but it reminds me of my experiences growing up with people in the community and shit, because I would be at odds with people barely saying a word, okay? They knew I was different and shit, mentally speaking. They knew I was different and shit, so I would get into these, I would get these very passionate individuals talking like Mouse Jones, ultimately wanting to, fight me, And the height of absurdity was a nerd that weighed one half of my body weight at the time, trying to have trying to initiate a rolling brawl with me and shit, only for me to slap him down. And we were both nerds. It was hilarious watching the other people, these other knuckleheads, take that guy's side and tell me that I was some kind of bully and shit for defending myself against a guy that was throwing these full body like martial art kicks at me and shit, and I slapped him down and shit. It's not important. What is important is that I see I guess Mouse Jones or whatever sitting here with his t-shirt, with his garishly designed t-shirt, his juvenile demeanor and shit, and his silly ear piercings, talking to black men and shit, trying to excoriate them and do the thing and shit, A couple of years ago, a cousin of mine came over to my house that tried the same thing and shit. And I tried to talk to him because we were both 50 years old and shit, and he was just running through his shit. He was loud talking me and shit. And I was like, I'm in a certain situation. If I wasn't in this situation, you would be rolling down the stairs bloody, and I'll be treating you like Ice-T treated Wesley Snipes in that New Jack City movie and shit. And I had waited a long time to do that, but I guess it'll never happen and shit. Maybe through litigation, I suppose. I'm looking at this guy, man, Mouse Jones, talking to black men. He's going off on black men for not wanting to stay in a failed system. Okay? You cannot talk to a guy like this. I want to tell you that when you hear somebody talking nonsense like this, you're not supposed to go back and forth with them. You just get up and walk away and leave them there. And he used to get up and start walking behind you and say, hey, don't follow us, okay? We're going somewhere where you don't belong and shit, okay? But we know who we are, shit. When you figure out who you are, shit, you go find somebody that's going to listen to you, because we're still never going to listen to you. Anybody who will tell you shitty information doesn't deserve to be sitting in front of you. Anybody's going to loud talk you and try to do the black mammy, authoritative mama thing. The Jennifer Lewis talking and shit ain't working. The tone policing ain't working. None of this shit ain't working. But what is working is these boots and shit, man, because I get the curb stomping your motherfucking ass and shit. And I tell my youngest son, like, not to listen to that bullshit. I reinforce him every day and tell him I believe him, I love him and shit. And I tell him don't be weak and shit. I'm not raising no losers, okay? And that could take many different forms and shit. It doesn't matter what his economic status is. He's a little kid now, but, I don't want him to be a fucking follower. Anybody that would listen to this guy is doomed. Alright? See the shit he's talking? He's taking shots at passport bros because he's probably too scared. Even if he has a passport, he's scared to go to another country and just have a vacation there. Just do things. You don't have to do the shit that you do in your failed community and shit as it is. Okay? You don't have to do that shit. You can go over there and just have a fucking vacation and see if you like it there and shit. He's not telling anybody, he's not saying anything positive and shit. And he's talking about Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce can buy you 10 ways from Sunday. Paul Pierce can buy you. Alright? Paul Pierce can Diddy oil your ass down and shit. And do whatever the fuck you want to do and shit, okay? If I had to go there. Okay? And you'll be willing to be in Paul Pierce's circle. You'll be lucky to sit in front of Paul Pierce and shit. And I'm no fucking fan of Paul Pierce and shit. I hated his ass ever since he did that bullshit when the Celtics beat the Lakers and he did that stupid ass thing like his leg was hurt and he come running back on the court fucking faking the funk and shit in his hometown of all places. Right? I'm no fan of Paul Pierce and shit, in his career because I was a Laker fan, a dynasty Laker fan. I was there doing all the goddamn championships. So this ain't about fucking Paul Pierce, but Paul Pierce ain't lied to no black men. Okay? He's done challenged these goddamn women. He's done what you're unable to do because you too busy trying to be an emotional tampon. You too busy cheerleading for women that wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire and shit. And you got the nerve to sit in front of me. I'll paintbrush slap your ass in the face if you were saying that shit to me, and I'm older than your motherfucking ass. I'm gonna be your daddy and shit. And you need a fucking daddy to raise your ass. You need to go back, you need to go back to, you need to take the shit back to formula, okay? You need to take all your shit off and put a diaper on. Get a big ass DPS, put it on, and sit your ass in a baby chair, because you need to be re-educated, motherfucker. And I'm tired of this shit, black man. Don't let nobody try to further this failed social engineering experiment and shit, by flapping their gums and shit in circles where they don't belong. He doesn't belong sitting amongst other men of his ethnic group and shit. Alright? He needs to go sit in Head Start by himself with other men that think like him and shit. Alright? Not even joking and shit. His talk game is trash. And that's why I would just tell him to his face. I'll make him take that fucking shirt off too. I'll be like, man, you want to talk out your chest and shit. You want to be an op out your motherfucking chest. You ain't walking up out this bitch with that shirt on or nothing. You gonna walk out this motherfucker in your underwear, maybe your shoes and shit, because I don't do the sneaker thing. Alright? We're tired. We gotta stop this shit. I always felt this way when I was a teenager and I had to run in with these knuckleheads and shit. Not many people could simply walk away from a motherfucking, what do you call it, a Peace Stone Ranger, or you guys will call it a Blood, that's actively throwing bottles at his feet and shit. And I noticed none of the bottles hit me, and I was a nerd walking away from this guy. I was walking away. And my cousin was there, the same asshole that tried this shit later when we were in our 50s. He was there saying, oh, just get away, run away, or some shit. And we're both bigger than him. We both could take the dude that was fucking with us. That never came across his mind and shit. Nothing ever crossed his mind. He was never concerned with winning or being anything or even fucking trying unless a woman told him what to think. He never did shit that nobody told him, didn't put in his head before he did it and shit. And when he did, he failed miserably because he had no backbone and he didn't know what he wanted in life and he hated me for existing. And I see that in this man, this Mouse Jones person. Okay? He's a loser. I know losers. Okay? I grew up around a whole bunch of losers and shit, and if I never knew nothing then, I know it today because they couldn't do shit. They couldn't listen. They couldn't love unconditionally. They couldn't do nothing and shit. They had to group up like Voltron and shit to even do a little bit to me and shit, and it still failed and shit because every time they look in the mirror, they know they had to do that just to beat me. I'm not copping to nothing. I'm just saying that, I'm telling you men out there in this teachable moment that don't sit in front of any clowns that's running their mouth like that, telling you not to be shit, telling you to stay in a system and shit that is working against you every fucking day, even while you sleep, is working against you. There's no shortage of negative propaganda yelling at us, wagging his finger at us and shit, telling us not to be nothing and shit, telling us we had to aspire to not be shit. Right? Yeah, I would make him take all this shit off. Okay, I'll pull some Chicago ass shit on his ass. I'll make him take all this shit off, man. Right? And he walk out his shoes on. I might make him take all this shit off except for his shoes and socks. Because I want to see his ashy feet. Now, I don't want to see his business either, but goddamn, I gotta make a statement, right? It's better than just, doing that and sticking a 12 gauge up his ass and shit and marching him out in front of everybody out there. Alright? It's time to stop the bullshit. It's time to stop playing with these people and shit, man. He's a fucking whole clown, and he should be treated as such. Okay? And I can't take this motherfucker serious sitting there and shit. I don't know why he was sitting there. I just kept waiting for somebody to put up a big plastic, a black plastic bag over his head and dare him to take it off.
The Black Patriarchy. A non-existent group of fictional black male power brokers not discredited, erroneously jailed or outright killed by the minority majority who look the other way as they work tirelessly to shame, oppress, and outright take out the altruistic black female populace of the honorable democratic United States of America. 3K's inset bitches. These evil wealthy members of the black patriarchy are the sole reason for all the ills of the black community, walking, talking, holding down jobs, and doing everything up to and including giving their very lives in service to their baby mamas and baby's motherfucking kids. Their motto that strikes fear into the hearts of black women everywhere: bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.